Maekovanen! Today I want to introduce you to the grammar of Elvish. While I'm not an expert, I found a couple of great resources that I will link in the description, especially a Sindarin grammar summary by a Polish guy named Ryszard Derdziński. It all can be difficult to grasp at first, so I'll try to slowly introduce you to the basics. Let's begin. Starting off easy, there is no difference in the gender of Sindarin verbs and pronouns. Okay, and that's it for the easy stuff. Changing the number of a noun is a pain in the... You don't just add a single letter at the end of a word. You have to change its internal structure, so quite often a few vowels. Now, there is a chart that should cover most cases in the link below, but I want to just show you how this works. Firstly, as you probably know, there are no indefinite articles before nouns in Sindarin. So basically, no a. That's why the singular form of a noun can be just used how it appears in the dictionary. But if you want to imply the meaning of da, you can just use I before singular nouns or in before plural ones. Mr. Derdziński gives us a couple of examples for changing those singular words into plural forms. I even gave one in the previous episode of the Elvish week. Lavan is the word for an animal, and many of them are called levain. This structure is similar to the transformation of the word adan, man, with the plural form being edain. Okay, I see. Something's clicking. Also, orodben, the word for mountaineer, changes to eredbin. A popular word you may actually hear in the movies or read in the books that's a little funny looking is irk, the plural form of orc. So, an orc, of course. Turns out it really does follow a rule. The letter O in the final syllable of a word changes to Y. So, as you can see, it can be a bit difficult. I'm definitely not great at it, but I've noticed that after a while, this chart really does start making sense and you begin to absorb it and instinctively know the answer. So, go and have a look at it. It's one of the most important aspects of this grammatical system. There are two particles which can be placed before verbs to imply a negative meaning. The first one is our favorite u, meaning bad or impossible, which you may know from u kenyong, I don't understand. The other one is the adverb la, which sometimes appears in the form lao. You don't need to use a hyphen with this one. Mr. Derdziński gives us an example of la kebin estelanim, I don't keep hope for myself. While there is a slight difference in the meaning of those two methods, you don't have to worry about it for now. This is something I miss in English. If you want to change the meaning of a word, for example implying a diminutive meaning, you have to say something like little boy. Actually, I love the word boyo, so that's that, but you know what I mean. This is clearly an exception, and there are a few more exceptions, I guess, but for the most part you use words like little and tiny. But not in Sindarin, just add the suffix egg to the end of the word. For example, annabong egg, meaning little elephant. So cute! Same with the opposite structure, the augmentative meaning. So it's like adding the word big in front of another word. Here you add the suffix ong. For example, Sirion means great river. A couple fun facts to end our little journey here. Firstly, remember that in the most common transcription, you have to capitalize the proper nouns in Sindarin. Also, in general, The Sindarin noun doesn't change forms. You imply different meanings by adding suffixes or prepositions, or also by changing the word order. Maybe you know that o means from, so you can just stick it before a noun and it becomes from that place. I mean, we've been doing that all the time. That's pretty easy. Similar to French, the adjective in Sindarin is placed after the noun. Of course, there can be a couple of exceptions. And finally, remember that all ordinal numbers end with the suffix ui. Some of them also change the original cardinal form before applying it, so unfortunately it won't be that easy. So that's it for this introduction. Now you can explore the final grammatical rule, probably the most important, but one that is too broad to cover today, the verb conjugations. I'll just tell you that in the present tense, you add the suffix in after the verb stem in the singular first person. So, pedin et Helen, it means I speak Elvish. Now we all pretty much do. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Again, it's such a broad subject, grammar. That's why I urge you to explore the resources in the description. I mean, after all, a language is basically vocabulary and grammar. Actually, I didn't even realize how much you can learn about Sindarin grammar. And it's not even that hard. So don't be scared. Open it in your free time. Of course, if you've been following the Elvish week, you know how I knew it all. I got it from Mr. Redleaf. That's why he came all this way, here, to Earth. And he accomplished his mission, I hope. But it's not the end. Not yet. We have one more day of the Elvish week. I wonder what it has in store. We'll see. But for now, Navaer.